have you heard about this new thing going on in Great Britain that Al-Qaeda routing up all these Britons, essentially, 1,400 strong, apparently, in a new, what's being called a new White Al-Qaeda army. Tougher to detect, potentially.
Yeah, because they're not Muslims. They look just like regular British people.
They're converts.
Also, we're going to talk more about the controversial subject regarding Al-Qaeda. Are they recruiting a white army now in Great Britain? Some people say it's 1,400 people strong, and why is that important? Because this is what we've always talked about, that if you have people in one country transplanting to another religion and they maybe aren't exactly what you think they are, that can be more difficult to fight.
Yeah, they're converting them in prison to extremist Muslims. Yeah, okay, great.
Now, here's Mr. Happy, Brian Kilmeade.
I'm always happy because Mike Baker's here. There's word that Al-Qaeda is building up a white terror army of up to 1,500 operatives in the UK. How soon could they strike us here, and would they be trying to do something similar using convicted criminals? Mike Baker served for more than 15 years as a covert operations officer until I blew his cover. He's here in studio. Mike,
thanks for that, by the way.
No, yeah, I owe you a favor. So, Mike, I forced you out of the business, so tell me, pretend you're back in. Is this a big deal?
It is a big deal in a sense. This is an area where Al-Qaeda and the CIA and other intel services around the country actually have something in common. We're all looking for the same thing, which is individuals who can blend in. From our side, we're looking for people, obviously, who can penetrate Al-Qaeda. Most agency officers, most officers from other liaison services don't blend into Al-Qaeda. So we're looking for people who we can fit into there as penetrations. Al-Qaeda, on the other side of the fence, they're doing the same thing. I mean, obviously, if they could recruit a Scandinavian, that's the holy grail for them. They need people who can move around freely and do their bidding.
And people who convert to Islam sometimes are more militant than those who were born that way, correct?
Yeah, you tend to get converts.
And they always go to prisons, too, to get the recruits.
Right. You can argue the converts are always a little bit more zealous in terms of their religious fervor, but part of the problem with Al-Qaeda is that to go into a prison and try to recruit individuals, that person's already tainted. What they really need, they need people who haven't run afoul of law enforcement in the past. And so, in a sense, their problems are extreme in trying to recruit someone who can go out there and carry out their business.
Benazir Bhutto, assassinated. Scotland Yard called in. They're saying, right, all the indications are Al-Qaeda, but 50% of the people in Pakistan survey thinks the government has something to do with it. Where do you go from here if this case was given to you?
Well, you know what, at the end of the day, you could have all the evidence in the world that shows that Pakistani Taliban, Al-Qaeda sympathizers, however you want to refer to them, were responsible for Bhutto's death. It wouldn't make any difference. You're not going to sway the conspiracy theorists, and there are a lot of them who exist on the anti-Musharraf side, on the Pakistan People's Party, Bhutto's party, right, and others who are against Musharraf. They just will not be convinced that the government was not involved in this. There's a number of problems here. Scotland Yard sent several experts over there, and Scotland Yard has some terrific forensics experts. They've gone over there. Obviously, the crime scene was extremely mucked up by the time they arrived.
They power washed it down.
Exactly.
And there's a gunman there. So it's hard for me to buy the moonroofs theory.
Right, but also Bhutto's family has been against an autopsy. They're the ones who have been saying, we're not going to exhume the body, we're not going to carry out an autopsy, which is
absolutely bizarre.
Exactly.
Mike Baker, I'm glad you're out of the business. All right, former CIA guy, thanks for breaking it down for us.
Sure, thank you.